So no win last time out, but encouraging signs that we can compete for these monuments once we get more tier 3 riders like Jonas Winter is right now. For now, Christopher Ward's level up is due. The Gronwald is next, and we are going to need more energy with that. So once again, following a general theme of getting everyone into the 75 to 85 energy range. I scouted for downhill riders, but no one of note again, so considering that winter might not be affordable next season, I might downsize to Ricky because he can get to level 8 pretty quickly once we pick him up. But I didn't think we could afford winter this year, and we could, so maybe our funding does turn out to be good next year. Niels Meyer. And because we dodged the Giro Fruinia, we've actually got many of the weaker pro teams here, though Telecom Arcana have decided to come here. Ward is a 1-star favourite, despite only being level 6, so this has been such a rapid pace that we've already lost our first helper, and I can't move Winter into position until the pace lets up. Hopefully Kramer can ride his way back on. He is eventually going to latch on, but he had no slipstream through this entire flat section. He is done for the day in any case. And given how up and down and with technical sectors this next bit is, I don't think there's any point in being in P3. We can go up there super early. You know, it might be a good idea to remerge with the peloton later, but if I get to the end of this technical sector now, it means we don't use as much energy on the next move, and we're going to have to start using Ward's attack points anyway. It could be that the pack can't actually catch us even, because look at the state of the peloton, and that's a pro peloton. I know it's only 8 teams, but oh yeah, the winner definitely has to come out of this front 7 because the peloton gets stuck in this mountain for an extra turn. I really don't see them doing much here. There is only one way to beat Victor Garcia, because if he latches onto our wheel to the finish line, we're not winning this. We have to attack him now and attack really hard over the crest. And there we go. Oh, he got dropped. He got dropped mid-climb, so he's not even the guy chasing us. It's going to be his teammate, and he's out of energy. And across the line in a time of 27.83. No one gets in under 28 turns. Christopher Ward gets us our first pro win. I am perhaps not as hype as I would be if it had been a monument, but hey, win's a win. Wow, after all of that, Gerhard Horn still came second. And this crushing of the Vinfal demonstrates why I wanted to do some of these smaller races while we're still finding our feet in the Pro League. We could have done all 9 major races, but then we might not have won anything this season. And in fact, that's Christopher Ward leveled up again right after his last level up, and now I can take the speed boost because he has a decent amount of energy. Klaus Moller, he's got poor attack points, but he's so close to a level up that I could just give him extra attack early on. I remember in my first playthrough, Vista Hedvisia was our first major tour. Not doing it this time. Oh, Smirnov. I mean, he's not the best climber, so that is something of a surprise there. It's up on a tee for us to do something again, because no leaders above level 10, and Alpha Mitch isn't coming with a fitness peak either. Neither are we, but we have Winter and Pavlov. I'm expecting a very calm race, but because there are so few teams here, we have to be careful not to get baited into going too slow with the peloton, because half of the field are represented in the breakaway. Thankfully, we do have some very motivated chasers out of those that are left, so no breakaway is getting too far away today. We've got another one of these mountain sprints coming up where it's going to be important to be at the front at the right time. For that reason, It's time to go into P0. I didn't think Jonas Winter was going to factor into this finish, but if we play our cards right, I think he can win this race. Golubev should lead out. If they don't, we will. Winter goes here, and Pavlov actually wedges himself in between, because Pavlov is going to make the first move, and then Winter's going to sprint over the top to momentum block Alpha Mitch, who has the fastest move of anyone in this group. So Pavlov can sprint over that. Winter's got enough to do that. That's a momentum block. Tyler Campbell cannot make it. He only had a plus 12. Since we got ourselves in the right spot, the mountain sprints are actually a lot easier to control because you know you're only going to need to sprint over 1 or 2 riders. It means that Winter takes his first sprint of the season, not in the circumstances I was expecting, because you wouldn't expect a -1 mountain guy to be able to punch up this final hill and take the win. I actually think for the build Winter is gravitating towards, more attack suits him, because he's got 8 attack per turn, so he might as well have the attack to use it. Pavlov, he's got the Hegenberg round at the end of the season. Assuming he doesn't level up anymore, I think we're going to need more durability. Yeah, I'll take the pure energy and wait until level 9 to get recovery. Ooh, Cedric Rao. If we can't afford Winter, he is definitely a good replacement, because he could potentially become the best sprinter in the world. I even like his initial stat distribution. Well, we whizzed through the first half of our pro season, but now we've got 2 major tours back to back. This 14-stage Great Plains, starting with the prologue. For the longer tours like this, I may narrow the scope of my coverage to the stage finishes only. This being a prologue, I can pretty much show the entirety of the stage, no problem. Or at least virtually all of it. Everyone came to rest at the start of this technical sector except for a few time trial specialists. Unfortunately, Watson's going to lose time already because he couldn't actually make it to that tile. Does hurt to be giving up this much time when I would have fancied myself to steal some time back on stage 3 with Watson, but we're riding for Winter first and foremost anyway. We can at least get the green jersey. I think this first one's going to the breakaway. We did not chase them down particularly hard. I wasn't panicking like I would in a classic, because I know there's going to be plenty of other chances for us to get stage wins. But yeah, that's going to be a... Well, they didn't move particularly long, so maybe there is still a chance to chase them down. Nah, never mind. These two got away well. If they don't want to go super fast, neither do I. So here we go, momentum. Watson doesn't actually get over Campbell's sprint, but it was for Winter, who will... we can just go all in because Winter's got enough recovery that it doesn't matter. And yeah, that ensures 3rd and 4th. We didn't even have to sprint that hard because no one got over Campbell. It's a shame we were only playing for 3rd there as opposed to a win, but points are points, and later on these little points will add up to something. Wait, why am I bringing Winter up? He does nothing on this stage. His goal is next stage. I didn't have anything to talk about until this point. The breakaway is doomed. They don't have enough of a gap. This isn't going to work. I needed to attack on this turn, but I'm 1 node too slow to actually make a move. Well, that doesn't mean we can't still go after the stage win. I think if I line up behind Malik, we have a decent chance at it. No, Watson's not a great sprinter, but I mean, he's not a bad one either, considering how many riders are tired in this pack. This is a downhill finish though, so yeah, as I feared, that was way too far back as everyone was able to hold the wheel. And it's a couple of flat stages after this, so we can burn the attack points to get third. If I wanted to go after red, maybe committing to the Mount Jersey this early on would have been the better solution, because we are still only 13th with Watson and yellow, and there aren't that many chances to get points. I mean, stage 11 is a chance. Wow, okay, so the yellow jersey's panicked and is relaying himself, because even he can see that someone up here is going to get yellow if they're allowed to get too much further up. Tell you what though, all of that, and we might end up catching them because LaCroix is not following through with it, even though he could. Yeah, I don't believe it. This group has been caught. We have a problem. This is a false lead out. I need to at least move the peloton up to here to snuff everything out. And that will prevent anyone from getting over, because they would have had to gone all the way to here. But it also means our positioning for this sprint is absolute garbage, because everyone's going to get to act after winter. Somehow we've ended up in an okay position, though we may have needed to be a little bit further back than this to actually win the sprint, because we are leading out directly after Ilgauskas. I mean, we could do that and see what happens. Yep, sometimes if you've got a +4 sprinter, you just don't need to worry about positioning. That's a double victory for us, actually, because we took the points lead with that 10-point haul. So, you remember what happened at the Great Lakes Tour a couple of seasons back? Behold! Hill! Never mind, the relay is alert to it and has blocked off the ideal escape node already. I think this is a fair place to be. I think this early lead out is going to get blown over by Victor Lopez, and then Heinrich will sprint and we'll sprint over both. But we've actually been bamboozled here because Lopez has not gone over. Thankfully, Winter is super strong, so he can just do this. We've essentially got this game's equivalent of Jasper Philipsen. When he's in good position, he wins. When he's in bad position, he wins. Let's go do it again. About the only thing that Winter can't beat is a breakaway that's allowed to go way up the road, and I think this one is going to get the better of us. They're completely empty. I was wondering why they weren't pedaling anymore. They haven't given up, they just can't. I think I just sprint over the top of Klaus Heinrich, and Winter's sprint should momentum block everyone that matters. Watson does not need to be in P0 here. Wait, does this actually work out for us? Since everyone went into the relay, they might just be able to... no. Sprinting gives you momentum blocking from P0. Had we not used that extra velocity to block all of the nodes, however, we probably would have been ridden past by Sean Watson, because he is very fast. I remember when I was a kid, I used to always read this as seen, because that's the way it's spelled. How can it not be seen? If you wanted to call him Sean, you would have spelt it with an SH. But that is actually where I'm going to call it. We have a couple of interesting stages ahead of us to start the next episode, including a team time trial.